This is where I am today, and this is Hunter Parking Space 76. It's also a New York State Department of Environmental Conservation trail. It's called Armstrong Lane. It's the Blue Trail, and I've never been in here before. I've been into a lot of areas in Stewart, but this is my first time in here, and it borders the Great Swamp. And oh my goodness, look at the size of this yew tree. Now, Stewart land, if you don't know, what is the buffer zone for Stewart International Airport, and was once home to many, many people. Look at the size of these. There's two of them. There were great farms out here. Lots of families. People lived and died out here. And back in the 60s, when Stewart was being built, they needed a buffer zone. Oh my goodness. And I don't know if you can see it. There is a beautiful lilac bush from days gone by. Rather sad to see it. It's a ghost town. The airport basically kicked all these people out and turned it into a ghost town. But God bless those people. It's very, very sad that this happened. But now we have a beautiful place to hunt, hike, bike. So there's the gate, right off Route 207. And this is Armstrong Lane. This is all new to me. But the reason I'm back here is because it's May in New York, and it's spring turkey season. And the first couple of weeks of spring turkey, I guess with everybody home because of this crazy nonsense that's going on, they had a lot more energy to get out, and they kind of flooded the woods. And it feels like things are overhunted right now. But I'm looking for someplace else other than where I've normally been going. And when I was pulling out of the adjacent road to make a left to go to my usual hunting place yesterday, I noticed that there were several turkey walking along the edge of the swamp. And I was going to come in here to hunt, but it was dark. I don't know the area. I'd rather scout first to see what I've got ahead of me, because when you're coming in before daybreak, if it's cloudy, it's a stumble bum situation if you don't know your area. So it's a good idea to check things out first. You don't need to twist an ankle or hurt your knee tripping over something coming into a new area in the dark. And the honeysuckle is starting to bloom. When these bloom, when they're in full bloom, you can pull the little flower off the bush, and if you suck on the end, it's a sugary, tasty treat. There's some pink ones. Isn't that beautiful? I love nature, always have. My only concern about this area in here, it is a designated hunting spot, but it is very, very close to the Air National Guard housing area. It's not too far from here. When I looked on the map, you know, you want to hunt with the housing to your back. I'm not sure what the footage is or how close we really are, but the main idea here for me would be to keep the people who live in that housing area to your back and shoot towards the swamp. So I didn't expect to see this little trail, but let's take it and see what happens. Maybe I'll loop around. I like to go in a continuous cycle because doubling back you might see something you missed before, but I kind of like to keep things in a circular motion. I'm not sure why I do that, but that's just one of the things I like to do. And I brought my binoculars because I see the white egrets are back, and I'm sure there are other critters in here. These woods are awesome. They're awesome open woods, and I'm looking for signs of turkey. I know for certain, like I said earlier, I saw them when I was pulling out of the adjacent road. You can't miss them. You know, the males, the big toms, they're big black masses right now. They've got their feathers all puffed up. Their hormones are raging. So, signs of turkey. The leaves would be scuffed up, kind of like that. It's not as matted down as the rest of the forest. They may or may not have been in here. I'm sure they have. I'm looking for bugs. And feathers. You want to look for feathers. Every once in a while you see them. Yesterday I saw several on a trail in an area that I normally hunt. Oh, here's some white birch. That's dead. That's a shame. Too bad there wasn't any more. Chaga mushrooms. In the Hudson Valley, it's pretty rare to see white birch. So here's the Great Swamp of Stewart State Lands. And this looks like... No, I thought this was a travel trail. It might be part of a game trail. This is someplace. There's a lot of open water in there. I wonder how deep it is. So it looks like this trail just brings us to the swamp, but the woods look pretty open up ahead of me to my right. So I think I'm going to head over that way and hopefully connect with the main trail. A lot of cattails in here. And Phragmites. Phragmites is the common reed, the invasive, that's been killing off and choking out the cattails. Cattails are native, and it's good food. Right now, if you pull the shoots out of the ground and peel them, you can cook them up like asparagus, steam them or boil them. Sometimes I just eat them out of hand. They can be a little, oh, this looks like a path, or it could be a game trail. See that straight in front of us, between the trees? It looks matted down. That could be, that looks like a game trail. May or may not be, but the path coming in here was a pretty solid footpath, but this is a little less traveled, so might be game. But anyhow, back to the cattail. You might want to cook it, because sometimes out of hand like that, it causes some mucus. So this right here, I'm being distracted, but this is a deer scratch from last fall. He might still be using it. He will scratch there. Sometimes pee, they'll leave their scent, and then they'll rub their antlers in the branch above. So if you ever see that, that's what that is. That's from a buck who was marking his territory, keeping his harem safe. See the ring of rocks? Looks like somebody had a little fire here a long, long time ago. Okay, so let me elaborate a little bit on the mucus of the cattail. It's almost like you have a cold sometimes. I've had some shoots that were fine, but I've also had some that maybe I didn't peel them enough, and they were very, very mucousy. They just created a lot of mucus in my mouth. So with that in mind, make sure you cook it. So that was pretty simple. We followed the trail into the swamp, and now here we are, back on Armstrong Lane. Now the housing community is off in that direction. It's to the right of me. and this is the swamp, and this looks like good turkey country. This trail seems, according to the map, it seems to stop at the swamp, but there might be a game trail that extends it a little bit further. We'll see. If not, coming in the morning, you know, for small game, this would be great because you can come out almost any time within daylight hours. But I don't know if I'd want to go way out this way early in the morning when it's dark. I'm thinking the area with the side trail, oh my God, would be the best spot. Wow, look at this. Lily pads are coming up. I think this is one of the more neglected hunting spots. I'm not sure why. Might be because of the close proximity to a development. There's the eastern phoebe out there. Don't know if you can see. There he goes, fluttering, catching bugs, and there goes the song sparrow. This is beautiful. So let's see how much farther we have to go here. It's a small area. I like that. You don't have to go far to get to where you want to go, it seems. There's beautiful hunting, like right off the road. There's a nice little sinkhole. I see wood duck boxes out there. Nope, they're not big enough. Correction, those are bluebird boxes. Are they bluebird boxes? Yes, they're too small to be wood duck. I'd have to look at them with my binoculars, see how big the hole is, but they kind of look too small to be. No, they're bluebird. They have tiny holes. Red-winged blackbird. This is pricker heaven. There's one thing about Stewart, it needs a good fire. I know a lot of people will be offended by that, but a good fire can do the woods a whole lot of good. It is so choked with briars, really thick, killer briars that are out to take you down. I ripped a sleeve off my hunting jacket a few years ago when I got stuck in a briar patch. And I mean, I was stuck. I couldn't even move. So I just had to go for broke. All right, we're going to stop here because it's getting crazy. I don't have the right clothes on for this. If I had my hunting clothes on, a lot of these prickers would slide right off the material. But I really wanted to head out towards that white pine there. But you're going to need some tools to get any further. But anyhow, back to my pricker story. Yeah, ripped the arm right off my hunting jacket. Luckily, I'm pretty good. So there's some scat. I believe I had to look at a reference, but I believe that's raccoon. And there's some. Well, no, actually, wait a minute. It's right off the water. Is it mammal or is it bird? I need to bone up on that. I should know better. I used to have all this stuff memorized. And then life happened, and I got out of it. But now I'm getting back into it, so that's a good thing. It's always good if you can go back. Nothing wrong with that. Alright, so unless I come through here and spend the time, which I have plenty of right now, thanks to this nonsense, I'm not going to get much farther unless I clip that trail. And I think I might do that because this is absolutely beautiful. I love the big swamp. Yeah, because I'd love to get over into those hardwoods there where that white pine is and up on that hillside. Now, there are 78 hunter parking spots for Stewart State Lands. And the last two 77 and 78 are over on the old Jackson Avenue. Oh, just for your information, that is field mustard. A lot of people are getting that mixed up with wintercress, and they're eating the wintercress. But this is field mustard, and it is edible, but I have read recently that it's been discovered that there is carcinogenic, that if eaten often it can cause health problems. So you gotta double check everything. I mean, even the vegetables in the store that we think are so safe to eat. Well, somebody's been coming around out here. That's a very, very old shotgun shell right there. I saw some other parts from shotgun shell casings when we were walking through the woods. But back to the vegetables, too much of anything. I don't really like to say moderation or anything like that, but yeah, too many vegetables, not good. You need your fat. Well, this is a lovely place, and I'm so glad that I came in to check it out, because now I have an excellent idea. Okay, here's the other side of that path, right there, going through there. And I can see a lot of opportunities to hunt up in there. Seward has a lot of wildlife. And if you're out here hunting and you don't go home with anything, well, there's always bird watching. Lots and lots of bird watching. Yeah, this looks like a good place right in here. Real good place to hunt turkey right now. It's a nice option compared to the usual. But just like with deer season, everything's kind of calming down now. The first week can be maniacal, and then all of a sudden everything gets quiet. And there's another path right there. Let's see, either footpath or game trail. I'm thinking this is a game trail. Or maybe not. It could be a path that comes from the development that somebody might be walking every day. Footprints. It looks like this is a game trail. Yeah, it's a game trail. That's a good thing. Well, let's see. Yeah, it's a game trail, because if people were coming through here, I wouldn't have had the duck underneath that. That's deer poo. It doesn't always look like pellets. Sometimes it looks like mush, depending on how much water they get, how well they're eating. All right, it feels like we're going right back out to the road. I think it's the path that comes off the right-hand side of the parking lot where my car is. And yes, it is a game trail because it just dissipated. Game trails are great as long as they stay under your feet. Moss grows on the north side of a tree. There it is right there. Game trail right through there. Game trail right here. This is a junction of a game trail. I don't know if you can see